Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky here. So Carcraft John McGann, he stopped by yesterday and dropped off this. It's a mock-up engine block for an LS. It's made by a company called Pierre, and it's made of foam. It's pretty neat. It has the heads, has all the actual bolts. You can put the timing chain cover on it. You can put the oil pan, which I did on it already. You can pre-fit your headers, your motor mounts, all the good stuff. Because we had a bunch of different motor mount kits. Went with this one right here. Small, does the job. I don't think you can see it very well. And because this is a unedited video, let me just open the door. That might help. There it is. So anyway, those are the mounts. These are a set of hooker headers I had stashed up in the rafters. They were new in the box, so no reason to not use them. I was able to mark on the frame where I'm going to clearance them for the headers. I've seen this pretty much on every C10, unless you hand make the headers. You have to do minor modifications to the engine or to the frame. It's not really a big deal. So I'm going to do a little notch there and a little notch there, and these should do the job. You can actually set the intake on this, fit everything, pre-wire it. You can build the whole exhaust, figure everything out pretty much before you even set the engine in it for the first time. So, and the engine's right there. So we're coming right along. Something else I did was pretty much all Chevy trucks that I've seen, the seam sealer they use on the roof is made of that, well, seam sealer. And the older stuff, it dries out and starts to crack. You can get up here with a chisel and a hammer and just chisel it all out. It comes out, here's a piece of it right here. And it's hardened and cracked. As soon as it dries out, hardens and cracks, you can see moisture gets underneath there and starts rusting underneath it, so you don't even see it. So you think you got a clean, dry truck, and the rust has already started underneath the seam sealer. So I always chisel that all out. I did it on the Chevelle, done it on pretty much everything. And then I get that rust mort, which I already put away, but it's a rust converter. And I literally just pour it right here and let it flow both directions, and I'll get a brush and kind of squeegee it around. And once you do that, let it dry at least overnight, I think, because it gets kind of gummy. It goes on clear almost, and then it ends up turning black. And that will neutralize and convert any rust that's already growing in there. And after that's done, then I'll re-seam seal it. My buddy, actually, Sammy, the guy I got this shop from, he had a 67 Shortbed half ton, the first one I've ever seen. And he actually took the time to fill all this and get rid of the rain gutter completely, just fill it so it was roof all the way out to the side. I think the idea behind that was the car was black. It looked really sweet, but if you've ever driven one of these things, you wash it, you think you've dried the whole thing, you take off down the street and you get water streaks down the side. Me, I don't really care about water streaks, so I will not be filling this. But I don't know, maybe for aerodynamics later? Yeah, you never know. There's more of that seam sealer I chiseled out. The new stuff is well, it's new technology. The stuff dries but doesn't harden, so it stays pliable, flexes, stays sealed. What else have I done to this? Pre-fit the radiator, had to modify the lower mounts. That's a radiator that John McGann had floating around. That's Carcraft John, and it might work, but with the LS, I like to have both the inlet and outlet on one side with a diffuser in the middle. So we'll see how that goes. I did already install the harness, which I will be modifying. On these trucks, I like to drill a hole up underneath here. I run the wiring harness underneath the core support, drill a hole through this support, and then you can hide the entire harness so you don't see any wires at all. Also, I don't like to come out right here in the stock location. I'll run all that inside the car, and then I'll punch a hole through the firewall down there, high enough that you don't see it from the inside, but low enough that it's not ugly on the outside. And then I'll feed the engine from that area, feed the body from this area. What else am I going to do to this thing? Weld up all the holes in the wheel wells. They are in the back of the truck. Oh yeah, I took the gas tank out. I'll be welding up that hole right there, and then putting a blazer tank under the back. On mine, I put a Chrysler LeBaron gas door in the side of this, and it's a real small gap, barely can see it, but it worked really well. So there it is, oil pan fitted, clearance of every part is bolted in, not tight but bolted in. The clearance of the frame around the headers. Pretty cool. That's it, you guys. Thanks a lot for checking it out.